Our entire focus today is on this internal journey of a fictional young man, Santiago. He's a shepherd. And we're looking at the intense philosophical concepts that eventually push him toward his, what the sources call his personal legend.
Right.
So we're not just looking at a story, we're really trying to analyze a kind of roadmap for how destiny and dreams and just sheer courage all intertwine.
Exactly. We've sort of synthesized this material into a blueprint for recognizing that moment when, potential stops being just an interesting thought and becomes an urgent purpose. For those of you who felt that intense pull toward an unexplored path, a life you feel you should be living, this dive is really about understanding the mechanics of that choice.
Choosing possibility over familiarity.
Yes. And we promise. The insights here into finding your true calling are, they're pretty profound.
So let's ground ourselves first. Let's talk about the life Santiago is actually risking. We start in the sun-drenched rolling hills of Andalusia, and the key thing is Santiago isn't miserable.
Not at all. Quite the opposite.
He's happy, he's a shepherd, he loves his flock, and he especially loves that his job lets him travel.
Yep.
He knows the rhythms of his days, where the best pasture is.
That detail about comfort is just so vital.
Right.
The source material really takes its time showing us his contentment before the catalyst shows up.
Because if he were unhappy, the choice would be easy.
Of course. But he has to disrupt a genuinely good life based only on this kind of restless curiosity he can't even articulate yet. The inner conflict is so powerful because that comfort zone is so very attractive.
And what shatters it, that attractive comfort zone, is a recurring dream. A very vivid one. He has the same dream multiple times, sleeping in an abandoned church of all places. It's always the same. A child appears, takes his hand, and tells him he'll find a treasure at the base of the Egyptian pyramids.
And the text really emphasizes that the dream felt intensely real.
Yeah.
Not just, some random product of his subconscious, but almost like a message. And that intensity forces the question. Is this a prophetic calling, or is it just wishful thinking?
A fantasy.
Right. And that's the struggle, isn't it? The known versus the terrifying potential.
So he's looking for some kind of validation, which brings us to his first guide, a local gypsy woman.
The gypsy is fascinating. Her role is purely functional. It's transactional.
Okay.
He goes to her, he describes the dream, and she just confirms it. She interprets it as a literal prophecy.
Yeah.
The treasure's real, and you must go find it.
But there's a catch.
Oh, always. She demands 1/10 of the treasure as payment, if he ever finds it.
So right away, the stakes are established. It grounds the dream in a kind of reality, but it also shows the path is already full of risk.
Exactly. He has to trust a stranger, and he has to believe that following this dream requires immense courage and just a huge leap of faith.
But it's the second guide who gives him the real philosophical roadmap.
Right. He meets this old man in the town square, Melchizedek, who claims to be the king of Salem.
The king of Salem.
Yes.
Yeah.
And he doesn't just confirm the dream, he gives Santiago the framework to understand that yearning he's been feeling inside.
Okay, wait, hang on. A king of Salem, just sitting on a bench in the marketplace, happens to know exactly what this young shepherd is dreaming about.
I know.
That sounds less like destiny and more like a classic con artist preying on a hopeful kid.
That's a crucial question to ask. And the text doesn't make Melchizedek seem magical or even imposing. What makes him different is his ability to articulate things Santiago couldn't put into words.
So how does he prove he's credible?
He knows these specific, intimate details about Santiago's life, things the shepherd thought were totally private. And that's the mechanism the source uses to show this old man is, more than he appears. He's a teacher of universal laws.
Okay, so he passes the credibility test. And Melchizedek is the one who introduces this core concept, the personal legend.
Precisely. The personal legend.
Yeah.
It's presented not as some pre-written fate, but as a purpose that each individual has the capacity to fulfill. It's what you were put on earth to do.
I like that.
And Melchizedek explains that everyone, especially when they're young, knows what their personal legend is. But as time goes by, this mysterious force convinces them it's impossible to achieve it.
Wow. That immediately deepens the stakes. This isn't just about gold anymore. It's about existential failure, giving up on the highest version of yourself.
Exactly.
So if we accept this idea, the next critical question, which Melchizedek gets into, is how do you actually achieve it? Here's where it gets really interesting. Melchizedek gives Santiago 3 rules, and these define what the sources call the universal conspiracy.
And we need to break these down because they stop the whole thing from just becoming, pure fantasy. The first rule, the most famous one, is that when a person truly desires something, the entire universe conspires to help him achieve it.
That's the comforting part. The universe aligns for you. But I always wonder about that word conspire. Conspiracies usually imply something secret.
Well, it's benevolent, yes, but it is an active plot being carried out on your behalf, often using what look like chance meetings or coincidences.
But that cosmic help is useless without the other two rules.
Completely useless. Rule 2 says the individual must act with immense courage. The universe doesn't do the heavy lifting for you.
So the universe sets the table, but you still have to cook the meal.
Exactly. And the third rule, which is maybe the most practical one, is that you have to listen to omens and seize opportunities.
That requires observation, a high degree of awareness.
A very high degree. The universe communicates through signs. A fleeting thought, something a stranger says, a bird you see, just gently nudging you in the right direction.
But how do you tell the difference between a real cosmic omen and just confirmation bias? Seeing what you want to see.
Melchizedek implies that a true omen feels resonant, and it often requires you to take a difficult or unconventional action. It's about learning the language of the world.
Yeah.
He tells Santiago to look for omens in the world's most simple truths.
So it's not about finding some complex secret.
No, it's about noticing what's already there right in front of you.
Yeah.
Your ability to see an omen is really a measure of how aware you are of your own path.
That really transforms life, doesn't it? From a straight path into this dynamic back and forth conversation with the world around you. And it becomes clear that achieving this personal legend is less about the external goal, the gold, and far more about the growth and transformation that happens along the way.
The prize is the person you become. And that transformation process, that learning, brings us to Santiago's moment of reckoning. He's absorbed the philosophy, but now he has to act.
He has to commit.
He has to weigh the immense comfort of his predictable life against the profound uncertainty of adventure. It's a confirmation that true fulfillment demands pursuing dreams, even with all the risk and resilience it requires.
He has to turn this grand idea into practical action. And this is the part that really anchors the whole story for anyone facing a big life change.
The commitment.
The symbolic and functional commitment that completely cuts off any retreat.
And the sources highlight that pivotal moment. Santiago makes the bold decision to sell his flock of sheep.
His whole flock.
His whole flock. He takes the small amount of money he gets and immediately buys a one-way ticket to Africa.
See, that's more than just raising money. He is eliminating his safety net.
Absolutely.
His sheep were his security, his rhythm, his comfort. By selling them, he is practically and symbolically burning the bridges back to his old life. He's saying, I have to go forward because I literally cannot go back.
That divestment, financial and emotional, is the ultimate proof of his faith in the personal legend. The act itself funds the trip, yes, but, more importantly, it confirms his total commitment. He could have hired someone to watch them, but he chose the path of no return.
The power of absolute commitment. It's not enough to say you want to change. You have to physically and emotionally vacate the space you're in.
And if we connect this to the bigger picture, it means that even if the treasure hunt is harder than he thinks, or the treasure isn't exactly where he dreamed,
The internal transformation has already started.
it has already begun. The courage he found to abandon comfort is the success story of this first part of the journey. He has redefined himself. He's a seeker now, not just a satisfied shepherd.
That was an incredible exploration of that initial call to destiny. We've covered the inner conflict, the crucial difference between the gypsy's guidance and Melchizedek's, the 3 rules of the universal conspiracy, and finally, the necessity of committed, courageous action. So, what does this all mean for us?
I think it means the path to purpose starts with recognizing those signs the universe sends, those small nudges that resonate deep down. But that recognition is only half the battle.
Right.
The commitment has to be practical and symbolic. It requires severing the ties to the comfort that holds you back, the comfort that tries to convince you that your dream is impossible.
And as we close this deep dive, let's leave you with a provocative thought, one that builds directly on Santiago's decision. The sources emphasize that achieving one's destiny involves learning and transformation, which for him required selling his livelihood, his sheep. So if the act of selling the flock was his necessary physical commitment to the unknown, what familiar, comfortable thing in your life right now? Maybe a predictable routine, a limiting belief about yourself, or a specific attachment represents the safety you might need to leave behind to truly follow your personal calling. Thank you for joining us for the deep dive. We hope this gives you plenty to reflect on until the next time.